Today we're making a tremendous announcement. Company from India, Stixis, has decided to locate and build a brand new facility in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was one of 5 cities being considered by them, and now it also shows that Baton Rouge and Louisiana can compete globally with anybody because we have that kind of talent here, and we do a good job of letting people know what a wise decision it would be by locating in Baton Rouge and also in Louisiana.
There are several people I want to recognize who have helped to make today's announcement possible. I'm going to start with our legislative delegation. From the Senate, we've got Senator Dan Claytor. From our House, we've got Representatives Ted James and Regina Barrow. I tell you what, and we got other folks here that couldn't be here with us today, but I want to thank these 3 members of the legislature and thank our entire Capital Area delegation. They have worked hard to give us the tools for economic development, to make Louisiana a business-friendly state. They have worked hard to allow us to make these kinds of announcements again and again. Let's give these 3 and their colleagues a great round of applause for their leadership. We've also got some folks from the Baton Rouge Metro Council. I want to thank Donna Collins-Lewis as well as Buddy Amoroso. We've got Adam Knapp for BRAC as well, and I'm going to introduce the mayor a little bit later, but this has been a great state-local partnership. It's not a coincidence we keep making these announcements in Baton Rouge, and I want to thank our local partners. Let's give them a round of applause as well. You are going to hear from the mayor, and I want to thank Kip for his leadership. You're also going to hear from King Alexander, President and Chancellor of LSU, and also Stephen Lloyd, not only our host, but the Executive Director of the Louisiana Technology Park. Today's announcement's about jobs, but you're also going to hear it's about creating stronger links between a global high-tech company, and LSU and the training and the education that happens right here in the capital city. I'm excited about what you see, not only in the new jobs coming to the capital city, but also the kinds of jobs, including high-tech jobs, good-paying jobs, companies that could have gone anywhere in the world but are choosing Louisiana, choosing Baton Rouge. I want to thank the mayor, I want to thank King, and I want to thank Stephen for their leadership here locally as being great partners in economic development. Let's give them a round of applause as well. We also, now the most important people you're going to hear from are from actually Stixis Technologies. We've got Rayudu Dhananjaya, he's the president and CEO. He's got with him his team. He's got Gopi Paturi who's here. He's got Agni Ghosh that's here as well. You're going to hear a little bit more about this company. They've traveled a great distance to be here, each of these 3 men. This is a global company. This is a company that didn't have to choose to build this site in America. They didn't have to build this site in Louisiana. They looked at several states, and you're going to hear about their selection process. They looked at Virginia, they looked at Florida, they looked at Texas, they looked at Pennsylvania, they looked at Wyoming. They decided this was the best place for them to create this center, to create these new jobs. We're excited. We're going to make a very specific announcement today, but I'm going to make a prediction for you. Given how quickly their business is growing and how well they're doing, I think they're going to create even more jobs here than what we're announcing today, many more jobs than what we're announcing today. Let's give these 3 men a great round of applause. Before I tell you exactly the details about the new company that's coming to Baton Rouge in Louisiana, I'll just tell you just a quick reminder. We've made many of these announcements together. The mayor and I feels like we do these once every several weeks in Baton Rouge, and I always remind folks, it's great, the numbers are great. And I'll share with you, our GDP, our economy is growing twice as fast as the national economy. We've got more people working in Louisiana than ever before. After 25 years of outmigration, we've had 6 years in a row of more people moving back to Louisiana rather than leaving the state. Highest per capita income in our state's history. Our unemployment rate's been below the national and the southern average every single month. But it's really not about numbers. When I first ran for governor, I told you our number 1 priority was to bring our kids home, to give our kids the chance to pursue their dreams right here in Louisiana. For too many years, we'd give our kids a great education at places like LSU and Southern and other places, and then they'd feel like they'd have to leave the state to find a good-paying job. And, you know, I always like to share a story about why that's important. Right now, we're kind of in the beginning of baseball and soccer season. For you Baton Rouge parents that are out there, I'll be there this weekend. And I'm counting, by the way, for the weather forecasters, they keep saying this cool front's coming Friday morning. I'm counting on that, not for the kids, but for the parents that have to stand out there watching these kids play. And, you know, I'm going to spend my weekend watching my little boys play soccer and baseball and do the things that parents do. And here's the great thing. When my youngest hits the baseball, the coach is always yelling at the kids, just run to the base. Anybody that's ever played baseball, they always tell you, don't watch the ball, just run to the base. Because every kid wants to watch and see if he hit a home run, and the coaches are yelling, and especially when they're young. My little one's 8 years old, and he just wants to see where the ball's going. They always yell at them, run at the base. And so my kids do, they're learning to do that. They run to the base, but as soon as they get to the base, they look to the sidelines. They want to see if their parents are watching them. But in my little boy's case, he not only gets to see his mom and dad there, a lot of times he gets to see his grandparents there. My parents still live in Baton Rouge. My in-laws, they live in Metairie, not too far away. They can come in down for the game, and they can watch them play. And that's a great thing, because when you're 8 years old, when you see those family members that love you, that are rooting for you, that is just the greatest feeling in the world. Now, here's the problem. My brother, my brother-in-law, they're raising their families in a different state. Many years ago, they had to leave because they couldn't find the jobs and the opportunities here. When their kids go and play, the grandparents can't watch them grow up. They get to see them at Christmas, maybe once or twice a year. The reason today's announcement is so important, it's more important than numbers, it's more important than dollars. It's really about bringing our kids home. It's about making sure that next group of children and grandchildren get to grow up with their families. It's about making sure we can see our kids and our grandchildren grow up, play baseball, soccer, sing in the school play, or do whatever it is they love doing. All right, well, that's enough background for me. Let me get to why we're here. Stixis Technologies is opening their first U.S. development center. Now, again, it's a global company. This is their first U.S. development center, and they looked at several states. They decided to open that first center right here at the Louisiana Technology Park in Baton Rouge. What that means is they'll be creating 230 new direct jobs, average salary $59,500 per year, even before benefits. LED estimates that'll create another 233 indirect jobs. So we're talking about a total of 450 new jobs in the capital region. That's 450 families able to pay their bills, watch their kids growing up right here in Baton Rouge. They don't have to go to Houston. They don't have to go to Atlanta. They don't have to go to Dallas to get those great jobs. 450 families right here in Baton Rouge. Let's give these three guys another round of applause. I'll tell you a little bit about the company before I turn things over. They create comprehensive software solutions with application management, maintenance, and support for customers in industries like oil and gas, healthcare, digital media, entertainment, education, and government as well. They're going to begin operations immediately here at the Technology Park. I want to praise Stephen and others here. This has been a hub for startup technology firms. They're going to, again, build up to 230 jobs. They're also partnering with LSU. And this is a great part of today's announcement. They're going to mentor students right here at LSU's campus in areas like big data analytics, business intelligence, cloud computing, and social media. They're going to help LSU in shaping their curriculum and support the university's development of skilled technology students and career opportunities. We know how important tech careers are to our economy and to our future here in the state as these companies continue to make tech-related investments in our state. Indeed, we've made a number of tech announcements in not only Baton Rouge, but Louisiana. Obviously, everybody's familiar with the new building IBM is building downtown, but there's a long list of companies. I remember in our first years, back then it was EA coming into Baton Rouge. And we followed that pretty quickly with Gameloft and GE Capital in New Orleans, CGI, CSC, and many, many other companies coming into Louisiana. Indeed, Louisiana now has one of the fastest growing IT, high-tech sectors in the entire country. When you look at percentage growth, we've got one of the fastest growing sectors anywhere in the entire country. These are exactly the kinds of jobs that not only move our economy forward, these are the kinds of jobs we want for our kids. I'm especially excited about the partnership with LSU and the mentoring the students and the work with the curriculum. I think that's going to be a great thing, not only for the company, but for those students as they get the best training in the latest technology. So they'll be ready to work on the very first day as they get done with their education. Since 2008, we've made economic development announcements totaling over 80,000 jobs, over $50 billion in capital investment. Last thing I'll say to you, though, is we're not done. Every day, we're going to work hard to continue to provide even more jobs and more opportunities for our kids so that this next generation will be the greatest generation. And I was joking at the beginning about how I remember coming here to see a movie. I'm old enough, I remember when Cortana Mall was the new mall, this was the mall. This was kind of where you had to come to go shopping, when that Breck building was actually the Sears. And we'd come here on Saturdays to buy our clothes. And for nostalgia's sake, I kind of miss the fact this used to be the movie center and this used to be the arcade, but I'm really glad that instead of movies and arcade video games, this is now a high-tech hub. This is not about looking back about what used to be here. It's about looking forward and saying, this is where we're going to create the jobs of tomorrow for our children and grandchildren. With that, I'll ask you to please welcome the President and CEO of Stixis Technologies, a great international company, opening their first U.S. development site right here in Baton Rouge, Rayudu Dhananjaya. Please give him a great round of applause as he comes up here and talks about his company.
Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today is a great day for three reasons. One, our freedom fighter, Mahatma Gandhiji's birthday. And number two, our Prime Minister visited U.S. and probably is returning back today. And he strengthened our India and U.S. relationship more. And number three, I'm marrying to Baton Rouge community. So it is with great pleasure that I stand here today amongst the august audience, on and off the dais. Seeing the electric atmosphere here, I thought it would be apt to quote Seneca, the philosopher who said, creative person is always present. And I believe our company Stixis committed to being creative, innovative, to deliver what we committed to Baton Rouge community as well as state of Louisiana. And also we act as a torchbearer for the future generations and entrepreneurs to improve upon their creativity and making a lasting impression on many tomorrows. I am delighted to announce, in the presence of Honorable Governor Bobby Jindal and Honorable Mayor Melvin Keep Holden, our company opening our office in Louisiana Tech Park, suite number 304, just opposite to this office. And this we have been thinking last couple of years. The U.S. expansion was very critical for us in bringing the lives for both in India as well as in U.S. We have evaluated several states. I've been working with Josh Fleek, Paige Evans, since January. Josh, come front. So they have been very responsive. They kept us tight, and they provided information which is very transparent. Okay. Then we also started evaluating Virginia, Pennsylvania, Texas, Florida, and Wyoming. When we went back, we went back and we thought we evaluated, why we have to be there in U.S. and which is the state where we are going to grow. And we have just took a little time, for probably a week, to decide Louisiana, that is Baton Rouge, as our second home. The major factors which we considered to evaluate Louisiana was, first of all, I had to appreciate LED team members, that is Josh Fleek, Paige Evans, Heath Williams, I don't know if he's here, several people, along with Brack, Jared Smith. He's a king, So where is he? So he's here. So, Brad Smith and Jared Smith, sorry. Also, several people whom we met in our visit here. Dean Quebec, he was very friendly with us, and he also expressed intent to partner with us to develop their curriculum as well as train LSU students. We were very much, very excited and very impressed. And these are the several reasons, which we have selected the Louisiana, that is Baton Rouge, as our home. Added to that, Fast Start program. I was more excited than anything else by looking at Fast Start program. It's an excellent program for us, building our growth, and as well as to create jobs, what we committed. We want to perform to our commitment, and I'm sure we will deliver our commitment in coming years. I want to also state that we again will meet in early 2017, and we will give you our progress. And we will bring with the metrics. We'll create a metrics and we'll present to you our success stories. And I'm sure you would appreciate that. And our transparency, honesty, and integrity is intact, and that's why we are here, and we are delighted to be here. Okay, and thank you so much for having us in your family. As an appreciation, today we wanted to appreciate people who helped us in making this happen, and who kept us very busy, and also they provided all the information what we needed in time. And I wanted to facilitate an appreciation for those people who made this possible.
I can tell you all of this is my family here. We have, we have serious moments in these meetings and dinners and by phone. But I can tell you, first let me say thank you, Governor, too, because when you see all of this team here, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. But the companies examine Louisiana and Baton Rouge inside and out. And they're right, because they're making a major investment in our state and in our city. But again, the whole team, we can go anywhere and beat anybody at selling Louisiana. And it's happening more and more and more. And as the governor said, it's really fun for me. I love it. But when you also have a company that shows a key interest in education, but not only that, educating young people as well. And so they immediately understand that if we're going to progress, we have to look at all sides of education. And I've talked to them, and they'll also be doing some things at Southern University. But I'm lucky because I'm a graduate of LSU and Southern, so I get both schools with great deals. But I can say this. When you're looking at the jobs, and the governor's talked about everything, but again, the legislature, our council members who are here, we've all worked hand in hand to make a difference in the quality of life for virtually thousands of people. And a lot of those people did not have hope or may not have thought that they would be in the positions that they thought they are in now. And I'd just like to just a sidebar just for a second. When we brought IBM here, one of the first names they called was a young lady from Maringouin, Louisiana. I don't know whether they have 2,000 people there. But can you imagine in her community, she's probably hailed as the queen because of a company that we brought to Baton Rouge. I can tell you there are kings and queens and people making money that they only heard of. And now Stixis joins that number of people that's going to change lives forever. and the quality of the program that they'll bring is second to none. And what else is happening? Louisiana, we can compete with anybody on the global map. And it's evidenced here today by our friends. And you're going to have a great time. If you get a moment to just sit down and talk to them, you'll understand their vision. You'll understand their company. You'll understand that Rayudu, and we talked about this Monday night. Sure. You talk about a guy that didn't grow up with a lot of wealth and riches, a guy that transitioned from one place to another, a guy who was broke, and a guy yet who decided, let me call a couple of my friends and see whether or not they will help me because I'm broke. And I need to move on. And I need to do some other things that I have in my mind. And then he has a lot of great friends around, but understand, he started and he was broke. So why am I emphasizing that? To tell young people and older people as well, it may not happen at the moment you want it to happen, but you never give up. And even then you may get knocked down, but you still never give up. And that's why we're celebrating this whole program today and our family. And I told them all, they're my brothers. This is my baby brother right here.
Thank you.
And, you know, I will end with this. We all have a lot to be thankful for. But if we don't take a look and appreciate companies that kick the tires of Louisiana, that look under the engine of Louisiana, they look at the interior and exterior of Louisiana. And then they tell their families about Louisiana. And then they say, well, let me take Louisiana for a test drive. And then they come in here, and you heard Rayudu talk about fast track program. You heard him talk about LSU and all the others. And let me thank Steve Moray as well. Let me thank the chamber. Let me thank Jared. So they looked at every part of that vehicle of life called Louisiana. And then they said, you know, this is a smooth running engine called Louisiana. And we're willing to not only test drive, but show them we're ready to buy into their success because we know we're successful. Now it's time to go ahead and enter the highway of life and say together, we are totally glad that this is one of the smoothest running cars that any state, any city, the nation, and now the world will ever know because their engine will keep running forever. Thank you very much.
Governor Jindal, Mayor Holden, legislators, Stixis, welcome. We pledge our support as a partner in this great endeavor. What's going on across town is quite extraordinary. And at the same time, it puts a lot of pressure on us, doesn't it, Dean Kubek, to come through with our promises. Right now, we have doubled the number of computer science majors, and we have twice as many as we had 2 years ago, which means over 500 students are studying to be computer science graduates 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And our pledge to get from 600 to 950, almost 1,000 computer scientists and engineers is there. We're making our move to do exactly this, to meet the needs of this growing community, to meet the needs of great companies such as Stixis. And next month, with the governor's help, a pledge of $55 million, we'll be breaking ground on a $110 million College of Engineering facility, which will house our computer science faculty, students, and staff throughout the campus. So these are great things going on at LSU. And we here to pledge our support to you, to know that we have hundreds and hundreds of computer scientists we want to keep here. The starting salaries when our computer scientists, our graduates walk across the stage starts at $65,000 a year. Starts at $65,000. And at a time when we're the third lowest in the country in student indebtedness. This is a great place to start. This is a great place to be, and we look forward to the partnership and look forward to being a part of Stixis as you grow in Baton Rouge and throughout Louisiana. Congratulations to Governor, Mayor, and Stixis. Thank you.
On behalf of the Baton Rouge Area Chamber and the business community, it's an honor to join you today and to celebrate this great project that Rayudu announced with Stixis coming to Baton Rouge. As y'all have heard, this has been a competitive process. Not only did they consider multiple states, they considered many parts of Louisiana in which to do this. And we have committed with working for the mayor in Baton Rouge that Baton Rouge is going to be one of the most competitive places, not only in Louisiana but in America, for software companies to locate new facilities and grow those. That doesn't happen without a partnership and leadership from the top and from the bottom all the way through. And you've heard that collaboration described today. You see that in the legislative work that happens this year with the creation of the WISE Fund, President Alexander, that it is going to invest in those key industries that are growing, and you see that the model of how the WISE Fund was developed is exactly with the vision of these types of projects in mind, and the investments that have been made to grow the computer science program, and the commitment that what we have today in the IT workforce is going to be incredibly larger in the future because of not only the opportunities that are coming from projects like Stixis and IBM and Emeritus before them and EA before them, that we are also seeing expansion within the existing companies locally, taking advantage of not only what is the opportunity in Louisiana, but an ever-expanding workforce to be able to do so. We've always heard that this industry is probably more reliant than any other on the availability of workforce to decide to grow here, and so we see that as a key deciding factor and competitive factor for Louisiana. We also made commitments as a community that we wanted to see more foreign investment in Louisiana and into Baton Rouge, and today you have an example of 3 really great goals that the state and Baton Rouge have made together. To go after foreign direct investment, as you see now with an Indian company locating in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana. To go after software to diversify our economy and to make sure that different types of jobs are available in our communities, especially high-growing sectors like you see in software and digital media, and to aggressively go after high-paying industries with good benefits to make sure that those opportunities are available to our citizens. And at the end of the day, that's what this is about, is to see that lives are better for the citizens in our communities at the end of this process. And that's what this is really about, that makes us so happy. And why you see smiles spread across our faces is it is to see all of these things harmoniously come together. I want to thank Jared Smith for his work for the Chamber. This would not be done without his aggressive work to make sure that we had the sites available and we showed them all the available opportunities in Baton Rouge, as well as the rest of the BRAC team that has worked this. It wouldn't be possible without the support of the Mayor President, who has been aggressive for economic development and shown leadership. And as you have heard both from the company here today and privately, they have said that one of the key deciding factors was the mayor's leadership and commitment, his accessibility, and his commitment to growth for this community. And as the mayor said, it wouldn't be possible without the governor's absolute dedicated commitment to his team being committed partners for economic development. Probably the best leadership we've seen in the state in economic development in decades. And that's something that we are very proud of as a regional organization, is that we have the support and partnership of the staff in the department, the leadership of the department, and the governor to make projects like this happen. Thank you to the Tech Park for making a great facility and the leadership of our legislature to put the incentives in place to make this industry possible. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the governor for being here today. Thank you so much, Governor. Of course, I also want to thank our digital media mayor, Mayor Holden, and of course, our legislative and city council. Thank you so much for being here. I would also like to recognize a few members of my board that's here. Terrell Brown is our board chairman. Thank you for being here, Terrell. Mike Moles, Edmund Garing is here, and Dr. Alexander, thank you so much for being here. For more than 13 years, the Tech Park has been the hub for innovation in Baton Rouge, providing local and regional and national high-tech entrepreneurs with the synergy and services they need to launch their products faster and more effectively. Now with Stixis, we're able to bring our environment to bear and serve a soft landing space for an international company. We're thrilled to have Stixis here at Baton Rouge. I know they'll add a lot to the energy that we have here in the Tech Park. And as Rayudu and I were talking, his story is very similar to a lot of our stories here with entrepreneurs. He had a day job, but then he started seeing how he could do things better. So with a few $100s in his pocket, he created Stixis, and now he's here having successful today. And like that, as the governor mentioned, the Tech Park too is making sure that our local companies here are able to stay. Craig Guerin, who's not here today, but his ACT Mastery company is here. Craig came into the Tech Park less than a year ago with 3 employees. Now he has over 50 employees with probably going to have multi-million-dollar year. He made perfect scores on the ACT and the SAT. And he, all at Baton Rouge High, Governor. So I think you know those halls. So, that's right. So less than a year, he stayed here and has grown his company. And then like Rob Guba here is our serial entrepreneur who started Trace Security about 9 years ago, left there successfully, and now just 3 years ago started Cell Control. And it's people like Rob who are serial entrepreneurs that help add to our ecosystem. So I know with Stixis and Rayudu adding to this ecosystem, we'll be doing great here. So I appreciate everyone coming. That concludes today's event. Thank you very much.
One, it shows that Louisiana can compete with other states and other countries. Stixis looked at a number of states before deciding to come to Baton Rouge, coming to Louisiana. Shows we can compete with anybody, not only for jobs, but good-paying, high-tech jobs. We're proud of every company that creates good-paying jobs in Baton Rouge and Louisiana. We're especially proud of today's announcement. Stixis is not only creating good-paying IT jobs, over 200 direct jobs, over 400 total jobs, but they're also partnering with LSU, our higher education institutions, to help design the curriculum to make sure that students and future graduates will get the training they need to get great-paying jobs as soon as they leave school, and they don't have to leave Louisiana to get those jobs. We had to compete with several states, and we showed that Louisiana can compete with anybody, not only in the country, but the entire world for these great-paying jobs.
Oh, this is a great event. Not only are we talking about the creation of good jobs, but these are new economy jobs. The types of jobs that our graduates are looking for, the types of jobs that our graduates might have to leave the state to find if we weren't making announcements such as this. So this is an important announcement, not only for Baton Rouge and Louisiana, but for all of the students that are in our computer science program in our College of Engineering right now.
Tell us a little bit about the future growth that an event like this is going to mean for your campus.
Well, I think it just feeds the growth that's going on currently. As I mentioned earlier, we have twice as many graduates on our way through the computer science program, and that'll be an increase we've gone from 250 majors to 500, and we're hoping to have nearly 950 graduates in computer science and engineering within the next couple of years. So it puts a lot of pressure on us, but at the same time, it's a good kind of pressure that we hope to meet each and every year.
I tell you, what it means is that, there will be jobs, there will be a lot of high-tech jobs. Our children will be equipped to go anywhere in the world based upon the technology techniques that they have. But also, it says to a lot of young people, look, take a look at how the owner and his board, and when you talk to the owner, the president, and you'll find out the guy did not at one point have any money at all, but he never gave up. And it says, look, if you have those bad times, don't go do anything stupid. Some people choose to commit suicide, some choose to run away, and some choose to turn to drugs and all of those other different things out there. Just stay on the track and you will get better, but you got to have faith. And I can tell you this, when you hear the stories, and those stories will be told far and wide about this company, we have a win-win situation for Baton Rouge, for Louisiana, and for the rest of those places across the United States. I'm sorry, we intend to stay at the top, both at the local level and at the state level, and let people know we are open for business. We've been open for business, and now we're constantly expanding.